Gone are the days when Muslim women were silent spectators who did not have the courage to assert their rights. Unlike the earlier times when only men were supposed to take care of their families, these days, empowered women are equally taking care of their children, parents, and husbands, both emotionally and economically. That has given them the confidence to assert themselves for claiming equal share in inheritance. Some Muslims are beginning to see the existing inheritance laws for women as discriminatory, but largely Muslims see such assertions in conflict with the religion. Welcome to the Matrix. Recently, lawyer C. Shakur and his wife Sheena registered their marriage under the Special Marriages Act in Kerala to ensure that their 3 daughters do not lose any share of their inheritance to his own brothers. Last year, Rubia Senuddin, one of the members of Kerala-based Forum for Muslim Women Gender Justice, has been mobilizing support against gender inequality in the Muslim personal laws of inheritance. The only child of her father who died, she was not allowed to inherit his entire property because the personal law entitles her to only half the assets. The rest is divided among the father's relatives. Such instances indicate that there is a need to address this issue and arrive at a meaningful discourse. Today, I have with me distinguished guests to deliberate on this issue. Firdouse Wani, advocate on record in the Supreme Court; Shabistan Gaffar, who is a social rights activist and educationalist. Let me begin by asking you, Shabista, the education and economic independence has made Muslim women confident, and they have begun to claim equal share in inheritance. And in this perspective, do you think that it is time to reconsider the provisions of the Muslim personal law?
See, Islam has given the equal rights to boy and girl, equally, men and women. So, if she is educationally empowered, she is economically empowered, and if she is contributing towards the assets of the family, surely she can, it is a time to consider that she can get the property rights as well, according the need of the time, because she also had gone through the higher education, and then she has worked very hard for the in the employment. She has generated the resources for the family. Why she has been denied for the the economic rights or the property rights by the family? So earlier Islam, they have given the full, in the Quran, Surah Nisa, from verse number 1 to 11, that has been described that whatever she earns, if she has a whole right towards the property which she inherits. She can sell, she can, do whatever she can do with the property. But these things has been interpreted time to time. Now the time has changed. Right. Time has changed, so we need to, examine these things properly. How she will be benefit, how she will get secure. So these things this is the time to, because somewhere the family is doing the injustice with the women. They are denying her, they are promoting the dowry, but they are not giving her the basic rights of which is the property right. In the dowry, that is the wastage of money, in terms of food, in terms of kind. That is if they have the, economically they are sound, they must spend that much of money, but they should not deny the property what she owes. So that is why the they are not getting the due, even the half of the property, the boy is getting half, and from the half the women is getting, even though the brothers or the father, they are denying that rights also, that property rights also. They are thinking that we have married, we have spent the money on the marriage, but they are denying actually the right of Quran.
Right, absolutely. Now, Firdouse, I would like to ask you, under Muslim personal law, the quantum of the share of a female heir is generally half of that of male heirs. And the logic behind this is that under the Muslim law, a female upon marriage receives meher and maintenance from husband. Also, male has the responsibility of maintaining wife and children. Do you think this is a fair assumption?
First and the foremost, I congratulate you for raising this issue, because this is something which is need of the time.
Thank you.
Now, coming back to your question, as Dr. Shabistan also said that, time has changed. And in Quran, it is already given that what should be the quantum of the property and how it should be distributed amongst the legal heirs. Now, keeping in view that it has been said that half of what the male heir is getting, that is to be given to the females. And very rightly so, because the woman, she is not told to take care of the family economically. And now they are doing it, but technically it's the man who has been asked to take care of the parents and children as well as the wife. If somebody is doing, if a woman is taking care of the or taking care of her own parents, her in-laws, her husband, children financially, that is something, we should actually, we should compliment that and we should appreciate that woman. But at the same time, now if a man is to be seen, he has to do it mandatorily. That is why it was said that he has to be given more of the property than the female. But it is not given anywhere that a female is not to inherit anything, which is in the air actually. This is what interpretation has been given. That a female, as Dr. Shabistan also said, they say that we have married her off, we have given her dowry, we have given everything, and she keeps on coming back to the parents' house also. Obviously, she has the right to meet parents, to be at the parents' home. Her children also has the right. So they say, okay, because every time she would be going back to the home and brother would be taking care, parents would be taking care of her. So therefore, they don't give her that part. And unfortunately, what is happening, even the females are waiving off that right. They are relinquishing their rights. Now, in these days, if a female, as you said, that now the females are actually taking care of their parents also. They are going outside. It's not just that, they are even studying, and there used to be a time they used to study and sit back at home. Now it is not like that. If a family has a son and a daughter, many a times what happens, the son is not that good. If daughter takes care of everything and she gets the responsibility and everything. In that case, yes, it is stated in the Quran, it is said in the source of the Islam that half of what the male is getting, but at the same time it is said that she would get 1/3 of what the husband's property is. She would get from the husband's property also. At the same time, in Quran it is not barred anywhere that you cannot, it is not said that you cannot give a female more than what is given in the Quran. So it means that if a father thinks that the daughter has contributed so much to the family, or she deserves to be getting more than what is given there in the Quran, so it can be given to the daughters and it should be given. There is no bar on it. So it can be given by way of hiba. You can transfer or transfer the property to the girl. Yes, and we should not feel that, if we have, even sons are being taught by their parents, fees is being paid, for their clothes we spend money, for their marriages also we spend money. So it should not be thought that for girls, and I was having discussion with Dr. Shabistan only. She said that, what is happening, that we are promoting dowry, that we are not promoting what is given there, the legal way of giving property to the females.
Absolutely.
So we should do, what we should do is that we should not waive the right to property that is given to us by the Quran. And we should see that this dowry and all that, which is actually barred, we should not go, we should try to not do that. And we should also see that, a boy and male, in the Quran also there is no difference, the gender, it is iqra is for everyone, property is for everyone, for male and female. So we have actually created that difference. It should not be created. We should treat both of them equally. And if somebody is having so much of the property that it can be equally distributed amongst his children, girls or boys, they should do it. It is not barred anywhere.
Right. So, in today's day and time, unless both the members, the couples, both husband and wife work, it's very difficult to survive, with the kind of fee which we have to pay in schools, the kind of expenditure we have to incur. It becomes very difficult. So I think it will be unfair to take for granted a woman's contribution in running the house. And in that light, we are living in a very in a world which has very individualistic approach rather than the approach of the community or as a society. So we have to keep that in mind. But now let me ask you, Shabistan, that women in rural UP, and Bihar, they're struggling even to get the inheritance, the share of inherited property as per the Muslim personal law. And they are under, as Firdouse was saying, they are under tremendous pressure from the family that they are going to their maika, and then she'll have to cut ties. If she's over assertive, she's claiming her rights. What can be done to improve this situation? You've worked so extensively.
See, one thing I have seen in UP and Bihar,
right,
even the personal law board, the members of the community, our leaders, our religious leaders, I can say, they should also, why not, they are creating the awareness, they are going to for the nikah and all those things, and they are seeing everything. Even in Bihar, there is a rate. Like if the son is the engineer or the doctor, and they demand a dowry to the women's house, like we need this kind of, and if he is the teacher, you have to give the car and you have to give the bike, and these things religious leaders are continuously, they are observing these things. And then there is the resistance from the brothers or the brother's wife. We have given her lot of dowry and all. Then this, the fundamental right, the Islamic right, which is enshrined in the Islam, which is in the Surah Nisa, from chapter number 4 to verse number 1 to 11, it has been categorically given that the man and women are equally share of the property. Well said by Advocate Firdouse Wani Sahiba, that if the parents, why not, that's their choice. There is not, they are not prohibited or barred that they should not give the equal property share among the children.
Right.
So these things, I have seen many case studies where in UP, in Bihar, in Bengal, in many places where the women are denied for the properties. Many widow women, those who are under the below poverty line, if their husband will die, she has nowhere.
Right.
The in-laws are also not taking care of her. Like you asked for the mahr. If the man is having the property worth crores rupees, what he is giving the mahr? 10,000 rupees, 20,000. What is this? Is this a justice?
It's a very small amount.
Is this a justice? Why not at the time of marriages, these religious leaders are not emphasizing on that, like you should give the property as a security to the women.
It's a valid point, that we have to reconsider the kind of mahr which is given to
because
to
we are just having the old thing. It is there. Personal law is there. We are not working. What the practically, where are the loopholes?
Absolutely.
Where we need to, because the other people are also seeing these things. They are not well versed with because people are not intensely going through the Quran. If the gender activists from the Muslim community, as you well said in the Kerala, you are talking about 2 cases, because now they are empowered, they are educated, they are literate, they know what is happening whole world. So no, they are demanding these things. They are going for the justice to the court, where they will go.
Sure.
There is a constitution where they can be guaranteed from article 14 to 32. It's for all the citizens. Then they have to exercise those rights. They have to get the justice. They have to get their rights through the court. So they are not barring the the personal law board, but they are not getting the justice through that.
Sure. So they have found a way out. So yeah, absolutely, as rightly pointed out, all religions they preach good things and equality, and Islam being a very egalitarian religion. But practically, there's a lot of difference between theory and practice, and I mean it happens with all the religions. I'm not saying just Islam; it happens with other religions also. But Firdouse, I would like to ask you that: do you think today, in today's world, the way Muslim women are, they're coming forward, shoulder to shoulder with men, to share the responsibilities. So more than ever before, they are entitled to equal rights in, every sphere of life, including inheritance.
Keeping in view with regards to the inheritance, yes, it is time that we should understand that, because I myself have seen several families where the father has died, or maybe because of some issue the family has gone into losses, and there the daughter, the eldest daughter, most of the times she has to face this situation, and then she takes care of her siblings, takes care of the parents, she supports them financially, everything, economically. And when the younger brothers, when they grow up and everything, they tell them, okay, now because this property is ours, because we have married you off now, and this and that, that time you took care, and they're not giving them rights also. I remember recently there was this family where the sisters, they claimed for their share in the property. 3 sisters were there, they claimed share in the property, but every relative was talking bad about them. And the brothers said, okay, now if you will claim, then it means that no relationship, no ties. So but they said, okay, if you are such kind of a brother who is actually going against Islam only and is telling us that if we ask for our right, then no ties, okay, no ties, you give us property. Because obviously it is our right and we have done something for the family. Right. So I think, as in these 2 cases that you also cited, it has been felt by the family that these days what happens is that your uncles or aunts, it's not necessary that they will take care of your children after you're gone.
Right.
So somehow what they have done is that they went under Muslim marriage, Special Marriage Act, and they remarried, and then they said that now tomorrow if we will die, then as per the Indian Succession Act, it will go equally to the children, not to the relatives. But what I am saying is, and I already said that when you are seeing this, that even your daughter is doing so much, doing or not doing, you have enough to distribute it between your children, amongst your children. Right. Then you please make the will, you please make hiba, gift deed, right, and you share it, because now, yes, women needs it. A woman wants that. There used to be a time that a woman used to think, okay, my husband's house. But today she wants that she has her own house. Right. She wants to do something for her own children.
Right. And then I know families who are, elite families living in cities. They are giving equal share to the children, irrespective of the daughters and sons. They give away their property quietly, without, and nobody even gets to know. So that is also happening. So that is also not following your religion, strictly going by the religion. I need to ask you, Firdouse, that Muslim personal laws are inspired by the Quran, the Sunnah, Ijma. That is the consensus of the learned men, and qiyas, and analogical deduction of what is right in accordance with the principles laid down by God. Under such circumstances, do you think there is any scope of amendment in the personal laws?
See, I said in the beginning itself, there is this, you use the word ijma. So that helps us to sort of use the laws and to practice the laws as per the changed circumstances. So now, as you said that now females are also working, they also need share of property, and as Dr. Shabistan also said that at times it happens that the boy is well off, right, daughter is not doing that good. So you see that she needs the property. Okay, now there is no need of amendment actually, but it is that whatever is given there, you please follow it. Nobody is practicing that. Okay. Now, when you send off somebody, you give gifts. You give something to that person. Okay, you are sending off. Now we don't know when this person will come back. in Islam it is not in respect to the daughter that is sending off. In Islam it is said even when she gets married, she still has the rights on the property of her father. Maybe just not just the half of what the brother is getting, but she still has the right on that property. She can go back to the father, because this is the only religion where the term divorce was already there. If you are not compatible with your spouse, then you can break it, you can go back to your father. So sending off was never there.
Right.
So culturally this crept in that you are sending off the daughter, dowry and everything. So it is not Islam that needs amendment. It is the society that needs to change its mind. Now here, while you are marrying off your daughter, very rightly, as the instance was given by Dr. Shabistan also, you please give her the rights and the property. Husband, are you giving her the meher? No, you are not giving that kind of meher. The amount you are earning, the property that is belonging to you. So you please give it to her. If you are earning in crores, you should be paying meher in then crores only, lakhs only. She's entitled to that. You are not doing that. Then are you taking care of her completely? So what used to happen that whenever a couple used to get married, a new family unit was created. So it is, I have not read anywhere, then the family, they would stay with the parents or anything like that. Husband has to take care of the parents. And the daughter-in-law, if she is taking care of her in-laws, that is very good of her. Right. Okay. But otherwise she is not forced to. Now what happens here is that the daughter still belongs to her parents to an extent. And she belongs to husband to an extent. From both the sides, she would get the right in the property. If husband is taking care of her, he cannot say that I will not give you meher. That he has to do. That is mandatory on him. This is what these clerics and these Islamic scholars are not telling.
Right.
Husband, even if meher you have to pay her, even then you have to take care of her needs. You have to give her house, you have to give her expenses, everything. You have to take care of her medical expenses, whatever expense, clothes. At the same time, when the daughter gets married, even if that is your problem that you gave her gold, this, that, and you gave her car and everything, still she has the right in the property. In Islam, you have to give her everything. It does not mean that you married her off and now she is not entitled to the property.
Right.
So here it is that the society needs to change its mind, not the Islam needs to be amended. I used to work with some NGOs, still I work with some NGOs, and I went to this one society, one colony. There a Muslim woman, I asked her how much meher has been given to you. She said, as far as I remember, it is some 250 rupees. I said, oh, that is nothing. And she was married to a very rich family. So she said, no, that is what everybody gets. Now, and what is that? Now, I also remember that once my father went to this one wedding and they were not able to zero down on the amount of the meher. Now the groom, he was doctor, he was well known and all that. So my father told them at least 10-15 lakhs should be there. The way the amount they have and the the strata that they belong to and everything. Oh, the groom, he did not accept it. They said, oh, we will not marry and this and that. So the girl's father told my father that okay, no, we will not ask for this kind of amount. Later on, there was a divorce also in there, and this girl, she got only that 60,000 rupees that they gave her. So this is that a woman, yes, awareness is there now. Women are doing a lot of things. They are out there in the field, but at the same time, let them claim their rights, not waive your rights. Even if you are going back, yes, they are your parents. You have to go back, meet them. You have to, your children has the right to have their grandparents taking care of them also. But at the same time, why are you thinking this, that, if your brother is allowing you, in fact, allowing is not a right word, that you're going and meeting your brother, he's taking care of your husband at times when you visit them and giving clothes to your children and all that, that does not mean that you can't ask the right in the property. So your brothers are violating the rights, your parents are violating the rights, they are going against the Islam. So again and again I am saying the same thing. Please practice what is there in the Islam and don't go by the cultural system.
Right.
Amendment needs your minds. The society needs the amendment.
So all these things which you have said, all these issues need to be fixed. From what you say, there is a vicious circle, you pay dowry and dowry leads to then discrimination and then so practically you're not following
Yes.
what you have been told to follow. In such a situation, what often happens is, and we have seen it in the past, when the situation becomes such bad, and a particular section of society is deprived of their rightful position or claims, then the law comes in. There are amendments. I want to understand from you, what are the models which Muslims follow in other countries, say in UK, US, and other countries. What is the model there when it comes to inheritance laws?
See, inheritance laws, because Muslims everywhere, they follow their personal laws. Yes, there is that in India, for the time being, the Muslim personal laws only, they are applicable. Fine. In other countries, in many of the countries, it goes by what is the uniform law. What everybody else is getting, the act that is applicable to the Christians or to the Jews or to the Hindus who are living there, it is applicable to the Muslims also. But at the same time, as I said in the beginning, that there is no bar that apart from what is already given there, that this much a woman has to get.
Right.
There is no bar that you can give whole property to the daughters.
Correct.
And what I understand is, and you also said that there is a patriarchal system.
Right.
And I feel somewhere that in Quran, why specifically they have mentioned that a woman has to get this much? Because had it not been mentioned, then again in the other aspects of the life, say education.
Right.
In education, it is that you have to educate male and female equally. But do we see that the females are being educated equally? No.
Right.
So therefore, it means, had it not been in the Quran that you have to give this much portion to the daughters, I am definitely sure nothing would have been given to the daughters.
Yeah.
Now specifically it is given there, but that does not mean you cannot give rest of the property if you have.
Right.
So many countries, even in the Saudi Arabia we have seen, in the Malaysia we have seen, in Indonesia we have seen that if the daughter is taking care of the family, if a person has so much of the wealth that it can be equally distributed amongst the children, they distribute it equally by way of hiba, gift, you can, or by way of sale of transfer. Yes, you register it, you pay the registration fees. So therefore it is that throughout the world it is being practiced the way it is given in the Quran. Most of the Muslims do it that ways only. Yes, sometimes, yes, because at times in certain countries like in US, you have to register it as per their laws. So
it is mandatory to follow,
yes,
go by.
Yes.
And all the Muslims
yes,
to follow. They follow. They have to abide by the
they have
law
to
of the
abide
land.
by. Yes.
Now, you pointed out some very important, interesting points that, there's provision if you want to use it. But then, using the provision is voluntary, and it is, you have to motivate yourself to use it. But in our system, as we have seen it, there's a lot of inconsistencies and lack of, approach towards this. Now, Shabistan, I would like to ask you that while on one hand, we have the Muslim personal law, which is firm in its provisions. On the other hand, we have a growing restlessness among Muslim women who are seeking equality in every sphere of life. In such a situation, from what we have discussed, what should be the approach of the community?
They should exercise their fundamental rights.
Right.
So through the fundamental rights, they will get the justice either from the Quran or from the Constitution of India. Both.
Right.
They will get it because it has not reached to the masses. So the evil thing, the dowry we are promoting, the fundamental rights which is enshrined in the Quran, that has been denied.
Right.
So it needs to have, the women should come and they should raise the voice. So because if you are hungry, if you are tired, you will go, you are thirsty, you will go yourself to the well and you will get the water from it. You are hungry, you will just exercise and find out the food.
Right.
Because the women are suppressed, they are suffering.
Right.
So they need to exercise this thing, and they need to aware to get the justice from the Personal Law Board as well as from the Constitution of India. Because this, if there is a nikah, why not the ulemas or having during the khutbah, why they are not focusing on the two property rights as well as the meher? They are not talking anything to the common people who are there.
Right.
They are reciting the khutbah in the Arabic. Nobody listen to that.
Right.
Nobody understand to that.
Yes. Valid
Where
point.
it has written that you give the khutbah and you are assembling there the people, they have the opportunity to listen and they are taking it for granted. That is the very, very, I have seen in the other community, even in the Christians, they have the marriage ceremony in the, the church, and the written documents were there. I really appreciate their approach. Everybody is listening. What marriage is? Why not they are assembling the women's in a place where there is a khutbah of the, the nikah. What actually nikah is?
Right.
Either it is the meher, what meher is.
Sure.
She is having the right. Nikah means that there is written that the groom has to give the meher.
Right.
What the Firdouse Wani Sahiba was telling that some incident over there.
Absolutely.
So these things need not to ignore, because they are creating the property within the society.
Yes.
They are making the youth. I told you once in this, the youth which is now upcoming, they have the knowledge of global.
Right.
They are restless. They will not listen to any the patriarchal approach over
Absolutely.
there. They will find out the justice. They will find out what the international law is given.
Right.
What the institution of the India Constitution,
So,
because
yeah.
Muslims are the largest, second largest population after the the Hindus who are here. So they will not listen. Now the reaction is coming from the youths.
Alarm bells are already ringing.
That is coming from.
And you made a very valid point. You see, in Quran Sharif, there is no mention that you keep slaves, but there was a mention that you release slaves. So what happens is certain assumptions we make, and I'm not sure, we'll have to consult theologians, that in Quran, does it say that you cannot give more than 1/3 of property to women? Does it specify not more than?
No.
In law, in Quran, every word becomes important. So there are assumptions, there are traditions, there are practices which have crept in, dowry, all these things, they have to be taken care of for to make our society better.
I want to enlighten that if there is parents are having the son and the daughter, then that property is divided equally in between them.
Right.
So why the male is this? See, Quran is a hikmat.
Right.
Why there is a male is having the more property, like half of it? He is given the responsibility to take care of the parents.
Sure. So we have to see things in the perspective and see things in the changing world. So in Awaz-The Voice, this entire week we have been generating in a sustained manner content on this issue. To read our news portal, type www.awazthevoice.in. Now I wish to thank my guests. I wish to thank both of you for being with us. Muslims who believe human reason has no authority beyond the revelation continues to abide by the provisions of Muslim personal law. But there is a fast growing number of people who also believe in human rights and equality in this world. Such people are not hesitating in opting for Special Marriages Act to get parity. Ulemas must explore the possibilities of finding solutions to this issue. We'll be back with another interesting discussion next week. Till then, goodbye from the Matrix team.